What is going on here? Well, it's completely irrelevant to the actual show, but at the very end you can find out, or you can skip to it right now. Now, let's get into it. Yesterday afternoon, that would be Thursday the 13th of October 2022. Many people gathered round this bridge in Beijing for one particular reason, and the particular reason was this banner. Why is this banner so eye-catching? Well, basically, in a couple of days' time, it's the National Congress in Beijing, Peking, the capital of China. Many delegates are going to come there from near enough all around China, and some international ones as well. Security is very high, like any kind of summit or congress meeting like that. And this gentleman managed to put up a sign saying, "Down with Xi Jinping, the national traitor, dictator," etc. So, obviously that's in Chinese, and a quick break. Oh, that's better, and literally, I just got my coffee. And if you get closer, obviously the sign is in Chinese that you and I can't understand. But driving towards this bridge looked like this.
我操，这桥上是有个自焚的吗？拉横幅了，我操！这他妈这20大添堵啊！我去，这他妈，这可是有问题了。这你妈20大他妈的拉横幅自焚，我操！不知道是不是自焚啊？我操！
Now, usually I wouldn't use CNN as a source for certain reasons, maybe personal as well. I don't really like the news company, but their reporter in Hong Kong did report this, and you can understand what is happening right now with this CNN report.
Demonstration. It's not just rare in China, it's especially extraordinary and rare because it happened in Beijing, this brazen show of defiance in the capital at a very sensitive time period, as you say, just days away from this Communist Party Congress. This is a time when Beijing is really ramping up that security and surveillance. And what really sticks out to me about this, Max, is that it's not just attacking the zero COVID policy in China, but these banners are directly attacking Xi Jinping himself. So one of the banners read, quote, "Go on strike, remove dictator and national traitor Xi Jinping." There was also a loudspeaker that was repeating these messages over and over again. We also saw plumes of smoke coming from that bridge. We don't know what the cause of it was. There was also another banner that had this longer message. It said, quote, "Say no to COVID test, yes to food, no to lockdown, yes to freedom, no to lies, yes to dignity, no to great leader, yes to vote, don't be a slave, be a citizen." Now, this really reflects this growing frustration in China over China's persistence in following this zero COVID policy. Right now, as the rest of the world is moving on from COVID, China is still locking down entire cities over just a handful of COVID cases. They are sending all close cases, all close contacts and cases to government quarantine facilities. We've seen so many scenes of people struggling to get enough food, basic necessities in these very harsh lockdowns. And the fact that this demonstration happened during such a critical period is really a really strong show of defiance. This is also in Beijing right now. They've turned it into a fortress leading up to this party congress. Our CNN team actually went down to this bridge area shortly after it happened, a few hours later, and everything had been cleaned up. The police had taken the banners away. It was as if nothing had happened. And all these images that we are seeing coming out of this, they've been completely censored and scrubbed from China's internet. This is a regime obsessed with stability. So yes, this was a shocking show of defiance, but it was...
And from one Twitter account, a Chinese citizen put up these banners in Beijing today crying out for freedom and reform and calling for strike and to overthrow the dictator traitor Xi Jinping. The Chinese daily writes that the individual was arrested to police and related images are now censored in China now. You can't actually go to social media in China and see this, but people do have a VPN. VPN is a virtual private network, which means you can jump over the Chinese firewall and use Twitter. And this is where I got all the information from. Let's take a break and let's go into some other news. Shanghai is back in the headlines as rumours and stories once again that this city is going to go into lockdown. Here you can see a picture of the workers, the COVID testers, whatever, doing what they usually do. There is one person who did take an image, a very clever one. So if you want to start a business in China, then if you want zero COVID, this is the place to start the business. You can see that picture. And a big supermarket like Costco in China, one person was tested positive, and if that happens, the people, regardless of the situation, can be locked down in the shopping center or the supermarket itself. And this is what the panic is about. In China, people are not worried about COVID. They're just worried about the quarantine and where they would be for the next 2 weeks.
完了，开斯克都在往外跑了，全部在往外逃了。现在，我天哪，说不逃逃不掉了，真的假的？我们刚进了。
But there are some naughty citizens who would have a secret speakeasy. Yes. Do you remember the speakeasies, or did you hear the stories of the speakeasies in the 1930s, I do believe, in the United States of America? And here these people are, these young people, enjoying the nightlife. But even though their health code on their mobile phone is red, which means don't go out, it's a protest. Away from all that and back into a little bit of my life, literally just before the recording of this show, a gentleman asked if you want our tree removed. Our tree has sort of been dead for about 3 or 4 months. We have been trying to water it and feed it, and there were some signs of life, but they decided to, or the community decided to, let's take the tree down and put a new tree in. It was sort of a sad occasion, but I managed to capture all of this, and for the next moment or two you can see some highlights of it. If you do want to see the full version of these gentlemen taking down my tree on my front yard, so to speak, it's not very big, the yard is more like a carport, then there is a link hopefully in the description below, or just type in "they cut down my tree." That's it for today. Thank you so much for your time. The Pickle channel is going well, and I do put some Pickle videos here, so I can get some monetization for the whole situation. Do check your subscription, because again, as I repeated yesterday, it's going down and it needs to go up. Don't know why that is. And they like, subscribe and share. When I do get information related to the Three Gorges Dam, I will publish it, but it's quite empty. But these are the big headlines in China today, which surprisingly a lot of Chinese people don't know about. This is Chinese censorship for you. Thank you. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye for now.